Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Peter Barber. I'm a professional opera singer and music producer, and today I just, for the first time ever, experienced Beast in Black. What an incredible group, and what an incredible introduction to this group with Enter the Behelit, and listening to the amazing lead singer Yannis just absolutely rip vocals throughout. Really, really amazing. Enjoyed it so much. Guys, please stick around after this video for a full interview with Yannis for my podcast, Vocal Arts. That's coming up right after this analysis video. And otherwise, please sit back and enjoy my first time reaction and analysis for Beast in Black, Enter the Behelit. And I'll see you after. Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. What an introduction to the soundscape of this band, and then just a bit of Yannis' singing. Now, this is my first time ever hearing the group. I have never heard Yannis sing or anything about it. So this is all totally new. Totally 100% new. I love this introduction here, how it's very ethereal and beautiful, and we have this lovely treble choir happening in the background as well, and then the rock comes in. You know, we get hit in the face with the rock after one sequence of this really beautiful kind of angelic soundscape. Oh, gorgeous. And that, my friends, is an Aeolian cadence. Ba, ba, ba. My favorite thing in the world. So we're in C minor right here. So an Aeolian cadence would be A flat major, B flat major, back up to C minor. I love it, especially in a major key. I won't get into all that because it's kind of built into minor keys, but it is a very driving, powerful cadence. Da, ba. You feel where it's going, and it really drives the song forward. And obviously everything else, all the other elements of this song as well, have a really driving feel to it. The guitars, the drums, the vocals, everything so far. What a absolutely wild sound. I don't even know how he's making that sound. It sounds like he's singing, and then there's like an added like whistle tone on top of the kind of the fundamental tone he's producing. That is a wicked, wicked sound. I don't think I've ever heard that come out of a singer. Also, he was singing something very high. Give me a second. So G5, I think, like the G below soprano high C, but in this kind of like crazy mixed head voice with the whistle thing going on, that's wild. A wild voice from Yannis here. By the way, in just a few days, I'll be chatting with Yannis for my podcast, Vocal Arts. I just recently chatted with Simona Simones of Epica, and I'll be chatting with Yannis. This is part of a collaboration I'm doing with Nuclear Blast Records. So as soon as you guys watch this premiere happening right now, that you're watching right now, right after this, the interview with Giannis will premiere on this channel as well. So stay tuned for that. What an amazing voice. Very, very high tenor voice. You can tell when he's actually singing with the purity of tone without any of the grit or the added distortion. You can tell it's a very light timbre-wise, that's like color of the voice, essentially. A very high, light voice. He's operating up around G4s here, so up G4s, and then he gets up higher than that going towards the chorus, I think, once the distortion card starts coming in. But that's already towards the upper part of a natural tenor voice range, and he's, of course, doing it with such incredible ease. So let's run that back and get this first verse again. So that's when a little bit of the distortion starts to come in. As he, when he gets up to that A flat 4. Up before then, it's totally clean tone. That's up to that tenor high C with vibrato, with a lot of grit. That's a really interesting combination of sounds. We have this tenor voice singing way up towards the top of his chest range with grit, which is awesome and just adds a kind of intensity to it, and putting vibrato in the sound as well. That is truly remarkable. Also, I forgot to even mention this. This video they've done is a collaboration with Blizzard Entertainment, which created Diablos. This is a sort of a collaboration with Diablo, which is a game I grew up playing all the time. Is Diablo 2 with the expansion, Lord of Destruction. Huge nerd for that game. I actually still have an old MacBook running that I can play Diablo on, and I've kept it alive pretty much purely for that reason. Because I just love playing through that game. You know, every couple of years I'll replay through Diablo, Lord of Destruction, as a barbarian. Duh. So anyway, big fan of Diablo. So I'm excited that this is my first viewing of Beast in Black. This is a great introduction for me personally for the group. I love his voice. I really, really love it. Now, of course, here it's a studio recorded, produced song, so there's a lot of heavy multi-tracking going on. So we hear kind of like a bunch of Giannis's voices kind of spread all around what's called the stereoscopic image. That's where you literally hear sounds left to right if you're listening in headphones. That's a mixing engineering thing. So there's a bunch of his voices, so I can't quite tell the exact like timbre and color of his voice just as a solo, but we did get it more towards the start of the song. We got a much more kind of natural picture. But this one, because it's a big like chorus moment, multi-tracking is very common. It really beefs up a vocal a lot. It's a great use of that audio engineering tool. But all to say, I can't exactly hear what his voice is doing. Here. It's like a bunch of his voices. On harmonies as well. There's some harmonies happening too. I also really love the combination of the animated rendering of Diablo and the set that Giannis is in. I really think it's cool to go back and forth between a set, live action with actors, singers, costumes, all that stuff, and then an animated video to accompany it. That's a really cool thing that you don't see terribly often. Maybe it's a thing more often for this group or in the symphonic metal world, which I'm just kind of getting into. Now, this is not symphonic metal. This is more, what would you guys call this? I would probably call it hard metal, hard rock, metal, somewhere in there. It's probably some kind of metal that I'm unfamiliar with. Again, this is slightly new territory for me. But if they're under the Nuclear Blast label, it's probably some kind of metal or rock. Anyway, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. You're obviously going to be raving fans for this group, so you can let me know all about them. And I'll of course start conducting my own research for these first videos I do for an artist. I like to go in very blind, and then after that, I'll get more familiar with all the band members and their history and stuff like that. Anyway, cool combo of animatics and live action. Whoa. Okay, what kind of metal uses like, it's almost like 80s sounding synths, like 80s sounding plucked synths happening, which gives it this very like futuristic feel, but like old school futuristic feel. That's a crazy combination. All to say, there's like very obvious metal elements and hard rock elements, but we also have this plucked synth sound, this like leading synth sound that sounds very out of place compared to the rest of the song, but not out of place in a bad way. It actually gives it a really cool kind of unique addition to the soundscape and the atmosphere. This is so dope. This is so dope. It's so Giannis's voice, it stays so pure once again until it gets into towards that upper part of his range. And now I'm wondering if that's something that always happens, if that's like a built-in mechanism of his vocal technique to where as soon as he gets up high enough at a certain level of intensity, grit automatically comes into his voice, distortion automatically comes in, or if it's something that he is just in this song intentionally bringing in on, those specific pitches. Not to say he can't turn it on and off in certain parts of his range, but I'm just wondering if it's like a function of vocal intensity, if the grit automatically and the distortion automatically comes in. So I'll have to watch a lot more of his singing to determine that. But it sounds awesome. It sounds awesome. And it really fits because the start of these verses, we're bringing it down from the big chorus and the kind of bridge between chorus and verse, bringing it back so that you can build it back up slowly. And a great use of pulling back intensity in a vocal is to remove the distortion from it and then put the distortion back in as the song wants to get more intense again. So it all flows perfectly. I'm just being a nerd about vocal technique because that's what I do here. Welcome. See, that's a clean vocal. It's just breathy. So you do hear a bit of what could almost like morph into grit if it gets more intense. But right now it's a breathy, easy, light tone, which gives him a long runway to build up. See, then the grit already up on that F4. So this is getting towards the upper range, but this is not like stretching it for Giannis yet, as far as I can tell from what I've heard in these first minute and a half. But already the grit has started to come in. It's out of his middle range, like middle, and into the upper middle, transitioning into the upper part of his range, and already that grit is starting to come in. Nothing? There's that high C, super gritty, almost like almost like a fry scream. There's so much air coming through the sound. I'll give it another listen here. I was just gonna say I love the driving force. It's such a powerful like RPG Diablo vibe where it's just like you just that game. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but that game you fight so many monsters. If you do like a boss run where you like go through a run just like getting through the final stages to beat Diablo, like the number of monsters you kill, it's gotta be in like the thousands if you're playing on hell, which is the hardest difficulty. It's just an unbelievable amount of fighting. It just never stops. And you are, if your character's really built up and good, you are just cutting through people like the guy in this video here. All to say, this music is how it feels when you're like really on a run in Diablo, just cutting down horde after horde after horde of monsters. It's just nonstop pumping. So I think it makes a lot of sense that particularly the drums especially are just really consistent. It's pretty much the same drum pattern throughout once it started driving. Is just like, that's the vibe. It's just like, keep swinging the axe or keep swinging this two-handed sword and keep cutting them down. And don't stop or you'll get overrun. I really wanted to pull the closed captions, but they're not available. But this is one case where, because I'm so nerdy about music and audio engineering and vocal technique, I really don't pay much attention to the lyrics because there is only so much bandwidth. You cannot get it all. Then you got to have someone come in and talk about the costuming, and someone else come in and talk about the cinematic, lighting for this scene. And there's so many things to talk about. I really focus on like the music part of the music. But for Diablo, I would be interested to see the lyrics just because I love Diablo, and I bet I would actually get all the references if there are Diablo references in the game. Anyway, I digress. What? Okay, he just did a very clean belt. G4, A flat 4, G4. Previously, I'd only heard him sing gritty on those pitches in that part of his range, and that was a very clean belt that he just did at the end of this big choral section. You hear the difference in timbre in his voice between and then whoa, and then it gets really clean on that whoa whoa once he's done singing the lyrics. Clean belt. This combination of like really hard driving, like metal drums and guitars, but with this synth involved too, is really just an interesting. It's such a cool combo of sounds. And I'm also really appreciating I absolutely love a good animatic. So I'm really enjoying watching this unfold. And there's this whole section without lyrics, not even backing chorus or anything. It's truly just animatic and sound. It's almost like a film score at this moment. I do love a second half of bridge, massive guitar solo, which is what we get here. This whole bridge is like film score. It's like just animatic. No vocals, no backing vocals, no nothing. But then we get this massive, shreddy guitar solo. Not a super distorted guitar sound, surprisingly. Relatively clean as far as metal goes. But we get a big guitar solo here in the second part of the bridge before getting back into what I can only assume is the final chorus. It's a nice level of distortion. Key change? Yeah, we've gone up a minor third from C minor to E flat minor. Doop. That's our new tonic. I just love a big metal drum fill. It's so sick. So you have some repeated material happening here in this final chorus, but everything's more intense, right? Because we're up a minor third from where we started. Which automatically, so Giannis is singing higher, all the instruments are higher. The only thing that hasn't changed pitch is, of course, the drums or our percussion section. Those will stay the same the whole time. But and a minor third, by the way, is a big jump. Usually when you hear a key change, it's like a half step. You know, you hear that in like, I Want to Dance with Somebody by Whitney Houston. Like it keeps going up half step by half step. That's a technique some songwriters will use to keep elevating the energy and everything. Going up by a minor third is a massive jump. And smoother in a way, less perceptive in a way, depending on how you, gosh, I'm not going to get into chord inversions and all that stuff. But all to say, you can do a nice minor third change. And I get that here. I never felt like the song made a huge jump, but it did. It made a jump. So remember before that was G, A flat, G. Now it's B flat, B, B flat. Whoa! And for a vocalist, a minor third is a huge shift, by the way. Absolutely mad. It's different for an instrument, right? If you stretch your voice another minor third towards the top or towards the bottom, that minor third it can literally go from being able to sing a note to just not being able to sing it at all. Of course, Giannis can stretch his voice up that high and sounds freaking awesome. Yeah. The drums are still just ripping. It's still going. It's still going. Same pattern. And now we got some backing harmonies doing that. Whoa! We heard Giannis do earlier. What are these folks? Necromancers? E flat 5. Huge in that like high, gritty like rock belt. Really like an old school rock belt. Here from like a hair metal band in like the 80s. So there's like a couple 80s influences in this music, it sounds like to me. Let's get that high. Let's get that rock belt one more time. I really wonder what the audio engineering is on his voice, because that is a sound I truly have never heard before. Wow, fantastic. Guys, I hope you enjoyed my first ever experience with Beast in Black. So cool. Hope you learned something. Hope you gained appreciation for this group through me being a huge music nerd. That's what I do. If you enjoyed this, please stick around for the interview with Giannis, which will be coming out in just a few minutes on my channel. So you get to hear all about his experience and his background and how he approaches vocal technique. It's going to be awesome. I'm really excited to chat with him. Of course, I'm speaking in the future now. Whoa, weird and meta. Guys, if you enjoyed this, please do consider supporting me on Patreon. That's the best way to do it, and I'll see you in the next Beast in Black video. Cheers.